Your dictation will start within 5 seconds. Political parties can approach the people at large for fund collection, but elections cannot be fought on that alone. Now, money bags have to be tapped for the election of most candidates of all parties. By law, companies cannot donate to political parties, but political parties can collect funds. Obviously, this is number two money. There is no accounting of this money. The Joint Select Committee of Parliament had accepted the recommendation that an expert committee be set up for this. This was, however, not done. In 1990, the then Law Minister had prepared an amendment bill proposing extensive amendments to the Representation of the People's Act. Those proposals represented a consensus between all the political parties. It is true that some of those proposals have been given effect to in 1996, but many remain unimplemented, including the proposals relating to election expenditure and state funding of candidates. My government has taken the exercise of electoral reforms seriously. We appointed a committee on state funding of elections under the chairmanship of Sri Indrajit Gupta. This committee has recently submitted its report. The Law Minister made a reference to that report in his speech. I am happy that Sri Indrajit Gupta is invited to the seminar to preside over the session on election expenses and state funding of elections to be held tomorrow. To facilitate free and fair election, the Election Commission has published certain guidelines. There is a demand that the government give statutory status to some of them. Effective implementation of these rules of conduct depends upon the good sense of the political parties, sense of discipline on the part of the administrative apparatus, and the willing cooperation of the public at large. The proposal of the Law Commission to introduce a list system of election, which is also known as proportionate representation for an additional 138 seats of the Lok Sabha, is welcome step. I say so because the system of first past the post is mostly a gamble. It does not always represent the people's will, especially in a multi-party system like ours. Facts prove that in most constituencies, the winning candidates gets elected on the basis of a minority of the voters cast, resulting general nationwide misrepresentation. Many of our parties represent democratic opinion of specific sections of our society. However, their share in the election bodies does not always correspond to their vote share. This creates a sense of non-involvement amongst them. This requires a correction at the earliest in our electoral system. I am happy to address you on the occasion of the inauguration of the first ever assembly meeting of the Global Environment Facility. It is indeed fitting that The first assembly meeting of this international cooperative venture should be held in the developing world, and that too in India. The 20th century has witnessed major developments which have momentous impact not only on the lives of human beings but also on planet Earth. These include an unprecedented growth in population and in consumption, rapidly increasing urbanization, dramatic changes in the global economic system, and the revolution in communication technology. As we are poised on the threshold of the third millennium, we have become increasingly aware that the process of development, including industrialization and economic growth, have come at huge cost to society, to the environment, and to our future. In some ways, it is ironical that some of the achievements of the 20th century themselves pose the challenges for the 21st century. With almost 6 billion people inhabiting this earth and the global GDP approaching $30 trillion, the pace of human and economic activity is putting pressure on global life support systems. We witness the depletion of non renewable natural resources, the continued destruction of life sustaining forests, and illegal international trade in protected species of flora and fauna. There is an ongoing depletion of our planet's biological treasures and the threat of an acceleration in global warming and in the greenhouse effect. In short, there is a rapid globalization of environment destruction. The environmental impact of human activity is no longer restricted to man made national boundaries. The problems of environmental degradation call for more than scientific and technological solution. They require the re-establishment of environmental ethics and values practiced in traditional societies with economic development based on these issues. India, as one of the traditional societies, has always believed in the integrity and sacredness of nature, with all pervading peace as the ultimate purpose of all existence and activity.